So hello and welcome to another day in my driveway, I guess. Shouldn't call it a funny farm because it's not a farm.
The one and only.
It can be funny at times. So I wanted to give you a progress report on what I'm doing here with my not running 1989 Chevrolet pickup truck. This morning I spent the entire morning into like past lunchtime on rehanging this driver's side door. Problem was that the hinge pins were so worn out that yeah, it actually damaged the front fender. I want to show you what it looks like right now. See, there you have it. There's new hinge pins. This pin right here, this is stationary, but it's got a cam on there that has a spring, so it holds the door in a certain position when you open it. And then the bottom one here is also changed. I have the set here for the other side, and I want to talk about this one. See, it comes with the clip, and see, when you look here, there's some knurling on there. And this one doesn't seem as bad as the other one. I actually had to file this down in order to get this in at all. I mean, this pin is not moving. It is just like it's supported at the top and at the bottom, right where that knurling is. So it's good if it's tight, but there's a roller down here. So when you open and close the door, you know, it has something the spring is pushing against, so it's got like two positions open, and then when you close it. So I had a hard time with this one. The other one's piece of cake, really. Once you got the door off, easiest way is to take the door right off. The bottom bushings go on the hinge part inside the door, on the door, and the top ones go on the ones on the truck. But it is self-evident. Now, the other thing that I have to do is, because you might be wondering, why am I doing all this body work before I've never even managed to crank the truck? It's not running, right? Why bother with body work at this point? And you have a point, but there's a reason for it. When I got this truck, it had absolutely no keys. So I already overhauled the ignition lock. So it, you know, has a normal ignition switch lock now, but the door locks, I'm still working on that. See, the door, when you look at it, I have it cleaned up pretty good. Now I'm going to remove that latch assembly and clean it up. It's right in there. The reason number one, it needs to be cleaned up, but number two, there was something in there that was never connected since I had the truck. Because let me think, what was the problem? I think the door lock. I think the door lock was never connected. So I have to see where it all goes, you know, and in order to have more clearance in there, it's best to take this out and then fiddle with it. And once that is done, I have to reinstall this whole mechanism that cranks the window and all this stuff. Yeah. I'm making good progress, but another thing I was going to do today, because the problem I'm having is today the temperature is like spring. It is 15 degrees, which is probably 60 or maybe even 65 Fahrenheit. I have no idea. I think it's 60. But tomorrow it's going to go back down into the 30s. So it's not going to be so much fun. And I have this stuff that is basically roofing cement that I'm going to use to help seal my whole floor. And when I put that on, when it's kind of warm, it'll penetrate much better. So I'm going to have patches, put them in with metal screws, and seal it all around with roofing patch. And then the whole thing is going to be plastered with this roofing stuff. I got it left over from when I did my roof. And, well, it's been sitting in the shed for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now. I can use it on the truck. So
what?
All right, here's this latch assembly I was telling you about. Clean it up a little bit. Yeah, it was filthy in there like everything else. I guess it doesn't look perfect, but it's fine. And this here is the door handle assembly. I now have to put this little plate that's in there on here. Hopefully that's the right one for this truck, because yeah, there are different versions of it. Got some circlips for it. Shouldn't be hard. All right, the door handle is in its place. Just want to show you, it's a little bit of wiggling to get it in there. There's a rod that goes right into the latch, and then there's the one for the key. You can see this clip here that just snaps right in my case. And now I got one little bolt from the inside here. The outside one's right there, see? And I have to put this back into its proper place, and then this part of the job is done. Exciting moment for me. I could close this door, bang, and now I can put my key in there, lock the door, and it's locked. That, my friend, was the reason I was doing body work before ever doing whatever's required to get the engine started. I've got it up on blocks so I can drain the oil easier, change the front tires that are all flat. I wanted to sit on good tires, got the tires. So yeah, it's just a lot of work, that's all there is to it. But I'm glad I got this done. Now I'm gonna move on to the floor. Okay, we're looking at the passenger side floor after I've done some hard knocking and you know, with the chisel and the hammer. There are some minor holes here, but I'm really glad that they haven't really gotten huge or anything. Most of this metal is very solid. Now, of course, I still have to do something about this, and I have a plan. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reinforce this floor with patches, fairly large ones. And since underneath this floor looks almost like brand new, like I seen it when I bought the truck, yeah, I'm not gonna go through the process of cutting out the floor pan. It's not necessary at this point. I'm just gonna patch it, and then I'm gonna apply some sealant on this so that this is sealed for good, you know. Before I do that, I'm gonna wire brush it so that there's more bare metal showing instead of rust, so this got better adhesion there. But this stuff is almost liquid, so it should work just fine. So I got a little quiz for you guys. I was surprised at first when I noticed that the passenger side floor was in worse shape than the driver's side, or at least as bad. There's actually more holes here on the passenger side. But I know exactly why. Let's have a look at this together. This truck, it had rubber mats. This is the floor now. I cleaned it off as good as I can. See, driver's side is like that too, but it's to be expected. You know, there's a guy with boots driving this all the time, you know. Boots get wet, and you know. But this side, see, it's even got holes in there. Well, look at this. There's the heater core, and it looks like it's almost like a brand new one, or is it still leaking? Dang, and maybe this one is leaky. I have to check that. The problem is rubber mats, a leaky heater core, moisture gets trapped under the carpet, and it does a number on the floor. Otherwise, this floor probably would have been like brand new, you know, still the white paint in there and stuff. But a leaky heater core will do this every time. And I don't know if the guy changed it or not, because it looks like it kind of looks like a new one to me, but now that I feel it with my fingers, it could be from yesterday's wash, but I'll have to keep an eye on this heater core. There was a cardboard box taped to it, so I figured he changed it and he broke this plastic box. This one, plastic box is broken, so he put some kind of temporary fix on there, but it didn't work too well. Like, you know, I'm gonna have to replace this box as well. It shouldn't be too hard to undo. There's some screws there. Yeah, and I have to test this heater core for sure. So there you go. Now you know what's going on with this truck. So about this floor pan, well, I'm not really equipped here for bending sheet metal, and like I got a pair of tin snips, that's about it. But I got stuff. Want to see what I'm talking about? See, I got bench thingy here. I picked it up somewhere, can't remember. And I got a 2x4. And I'm gonna put a screw here, screw there, put the metal in there. I could bend the piece of sheet metal with that.
No way.
I think you get the idea. I gotta watch my recording time here. So this is the first patch that I'm gonna install. See, I bent it here along the line. I'm gonna put a thick layer. Maybe I have to cut a little bit here just to make it easier to push this down. And then I'm gonna make a second piece just here. Kind of overlap that because it'll give us extra strength where this depression is. I don't really need the depression, I don't think. I'll just fill this in, put an extra piece here, maybe still bend the end of it there to adapt it to this, but maybe cut this a little bit. Yeah, so far so good, but I think I could fit it just a little bit better. And then yeah, I don't know how much daylight I have left here. I'm on the first side here. I was hoping to get them both done today because of the weather, but it may not be possible. So at least I'll try to get this done, and I'll show you when I made a little bit of progress here. So that's what the plan is. I'm gonna put this on all over that floor, then put it on the back side of those patches that I made, and then also on the top of those patches. It's going to be completely sealed. There's not going to be any rust there for the next 25 years, I'm hoping. Yeah, literally, I don't know, 20 minutes later. Still got to do the big piece, got to give this a coat, and then all of this floor is going to be covered with the black stuff. I think that'll be good. I mean, I guess you get the picture. I'm trying to get this done before the sun sets, and it's right there in my face. Well, surprise, surprise. I got this in before it got totally dark here. I don't even know what time it is. I'm probably sitting in this tar stuff right now, but I'm kind of happy because I got at least one side done. I was hoping to get 2 done today because the weather is good, but me and estimates has always been a problem. So this, I'm just gonna cover it with all this black stuff here. See, there's still a rusty surface down there, but this is probably the most solid floor this truck's ever had. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, even if it's just for entertainment purposes. I'm gonna cut it off here. Just gonna put this black stuff on. I just wanted to show you this before I shut off, before I cover it all, because it's all gonna be uniform black. But I'll be back soon for another video, and I hope you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, well, why don't you do that now? Because you're gonna see how this old beat up Chevy, it's what a neighbor just called it when he walked by, is going to take shape and turn into an old functional Chevy. See you soon.